All right, welcome back to Beautiful Mind. Today we have a really big update. This is the June 2023, and we're going to just dive right in and take a good look at what we were discussing in the last few tutorials. In the last few, we were discussing that we were going to have a sequence top event similar to these previous ones at 35, 48, and 58%. And that would equal our 34, our 37, and our 40 area. We were discussing this on the square of 9 that if we made a bottom at 25, that would be our next sequence. We are now coming back to those areas. We were talking in previous tutorials how this area here, if we were to break these bottoms here, and particularly this top area, if we were to come below this 25,300, which I was expecting on the 19th. However, we had our little fake out on the 12th, on the 24th, and I was saying from the 19th to the 24th, we could have this low. And we had this little fake out. And if we didn't follow my forecast, then this would be invalid, this area here. So if we break this 25 here, then our next sequence down, I believe, from our top would be logically 13,000. So I want to talk about that. But before we get too deep into that one, our next maneuver down really on the square in our sequence of lines and stuff, if we look at it here, is 23. So we can certainly move down to this 23 level here. We could sit on this area. If we were to lose this angle in this area here, and I believe that would be by the 18th, we would see our anniversary bottom. We're going to talk about that in a minute with the sun making a low. All right, so it's possible and likely we can see a 23. It's also possible and likely we could have a real major fall off the cliff and we just go all the way around and we end back up hitting these 15, 17 before stopping at our next 13. Let's go take a look at what I was talking about. I was saying in the previous tutorial, if we were to lose this yellow line and chase it down here, it was very possible and likely that the square of 9 would catch us at 13,000 here. And I want to talk about these two bottoms here. I'm just going to move this out of the way here. So we're going to focus in on our 17. This is where I've been taking my planetary bottoms together, and it cycled and worked out perfectly with our square of 9 a year later when the sun made its return at this level of an anniversary top 1 year previous at 69. So I linked these two together, and we have a 13,000 level here, and this will line up perfectly if we just sit on the 18th. We have 13,000. It's possible that this could happen. You know, this is the move we're talking about right here. Okay? This entire, if we don't take off and move up and break out of these areas here, which are these tops, so we'll just talk about those again. If we don't break above our top here at this 31, we don't start getting above this, my whole forecast for the vibration that we were talking about in the previous tutorial will be invalidated. That's right. So that would invalidate this. If we were to gain support here and move up from 25, then this would still be intact, and that would be our next sequence. However, we were talking very strongly about this 25. We have to sit on this, and this has to be our bottom. If we break this, we could swing down, and even 9. We can come all down 5, 4 right here. You bet. But 13 would be a logical place for us to have a major turnaround, and we have this red line. Let's go take a look at this red line because this runs back a very far distance. Okay, so let's just see if we were to jump down to that, what would that look like? Well, that'd be a pretty far place. So let's go take a look back at our time and see just what happened in that angle there, and just see from a larger perspective and a bigger picture what exactly we're talking about here. So these trend lines now, they come back from very far places. And as you can see, this one came right near the neckline of the breakout of the first top we ever had. So if we were to sit on this line and not find support, our next logical line of support would be from this blockchain halving event here way back in 2012. And this yellow line here would represent an area where we could see a bounce. Now, let's just zoom back in here because now I've showed you a few things. And please take a moment to look at my previous tutorials where I talk about these blockchain halving events and Danielle counts and other things. Anyways, let's go back and take a look at what we can see in the weekly or the daily view again and zoom in. It's going to be a little messy for a second, so just bear with me while I bring this in here. All right, so we've been discussing this now about how from our planetary bodies here, we've made these connections here. Now, if we lose this midpoint here of this channel, and we dive below this white line here, which is this 34, this very interesting bottom back here, May 12th, right? It's an anniversary bottom here to this one, okay? Let's pay attention to this, okay? These are these yearly cycles, you know? And this is why this is such a important tool. These red lines are the 8 octaves of the year. And you bet they, when we come around, you know, we make relationships. All right, so moving forward. My prognosis is if we were to hold this again, we can go back up to these tops here, which I was talking about, would replicate these previous sequences. If this is not to occur and we are to break this, we could, in fact, move down in a very rapid succession. And I think that the 18th of June or somewhere around there, we would see 23,000 and possibly lower. You know, we could see 19,000, right? We could swing all the way back right to here. You betcha, right? And that'd be totally in line with 2 of our other points on the square here, our old top and an old bottom here. So if we were to lose this channel completely, it's possible we could recorrect somewhere down here, and that would take us down to, you know, our 14 and possibly our 13. So we could move back and revisit these areas right here. It's certainly possible here. So for any of this to happen, we need to see a break either above to validate this or a break below to validate our 13,000 or lower areas that we've been talking about on our square. All right, so, and not to forget now, we could certainly go sideways here. We could chop along and make another run in an attempt somewhere out here at this total top, and we may not break out here and have another fall down into the fall, which I was stating in my forecasts, and that October 16th to the 20th looked like an area where we could probably see, you know, another bottom form. And the same around this November. That would be an anniversary from this November. So we're going to watch all these octaves moving around, these red lines too, and we're going to see if they activate some time and price sequences again. So we're watching this closely. We're expecting to have an anniversary breakdown to a bottom. If we don't hold this 23, then that would invalidate my sequence for the top. And I think that we would be looking to reestablish a further bottom, maybe lower. You know, it's possible we could get down to this 21, 22 here. And if we didn't get any grip there, it's back to 19. And then all the way down, Humpty Dumpty, if we don't sit on these, I mean, these would represent a really good buying area, but this would represent a much more handsome or more credible value based Bitcoin at 13,000, another run at that. And if that were to occur, we could see a good bounce up again. If we were to get a reaction somewhere and not be able to get back above this, then my long term forecast, as you all know, I'm a bad news bears. That's right. And I make no apology for that. Something big were to happen, Bitcoin would be back on track. So let's go take a look at what I'm talking about here. So my forecast for the end of the year, if you go look in my previous tutorials, and maybe I'll put out some more about that as well, I'm expecting a break somewhere at the end of the summer here, and it's possible and likely we have a move down to October, in which case we'll have a top somewhere around the January period, the first week of January, and from Christmas we'll have a top somewhere here. It's very possible. And then I think we'll have another leg down and we'll retest this 15,000, and I believe that that will take place and occur somewhere around this very early February period, and late January we'll have this big huge pullback, and then the next month we have our perceived halving event. So interesting enough. So we've covered a lot of stuff on the square 9, on my forecast, some levels. I've updated you about my determinations. And let's go take a look at the planetary bodies and see their return for lows and highs and what we can expect here on the 18th. All right, so let's just bring this down here and we'll, oops, I'll make that a little bigger anyways. See that a bit better. All right, so we're going to bring our booklet in where we've cataloged all our bottoms. Let's go ahead and take a look at that. All right, so here we are, guys. We're just finishing off a sequence. We were talking about all these lows that had happened, and now our next sequence of lows is May 1st. Let's go take a look where the sun was at 10 degrees, at 315 degrees, which represents one of these red dark lines on here, and making almost a 360-degree return on June 18th. So let's go take a look at our May 1st and see if we have something happen in there. All right, so May 1st. Oh, looks like right here is May 1st. We had a pullback right here, and we had our dead cat bounce and our fake out. So this is a validated bottom in a structured area at 27,000, and looks to be right to me. So we have another check mark here. So let's go update this now. So our next determination and the ending of the cycle for the sun is going to appear again on June 18th. And that June 18th bottom is exactly what we're talking about right here. So this is where all our calculations have been taken from. Mercury here has finished its cycle. It finished it on April 15th, and we had our super swing top Mercury swung around and didn't bring us a bottom, it brought us the top. Interesting. Also, let's go take a look at that and discuss that really quickly because I think it's so interesting as a researcher. All right, so right here on the 7th, Venus finished its cycle at 27,000. Here, the cycle ended and it peaked right up to 31,000. So right around this area. Then again, on May 1st, 27,000 was revisited here when the sun came around and it almost finished its cycle. So I would expect the end of this cycle, we might return to this area here. It's possible. And it's possible we could return to this area. But our linking right now is stating that maybe in, June 18th here, if we don't sit on these, we can certainly come back and we could touch this line again. And if that were to happen, that would again invalidate the sequence that would occur here that we're looking for. If they fall below this, it could be a big Humpty Dumpty, just like right here, because this is where we are now, right here. Right, we're just getting, it's going to get juicy here. So that could occur. So we're going to watch for that. That's a big capitulation bottom. If we were to stay above this yellow line here that's chasing down, as I've stated before, and we stay above this, we have a shot at our next sequence. So as a trader, you should be very aware of that. Okay, so we've updated that. We have tremendous amount of check marks. What do we have next coming up? Well, we have, what do we have here? Dun, dun, dun. Nothing for quite a while here. So we're going to have to wait for quite a while for these to occur. September, or July, sorry, our next one out here for Mars would occur July 14th. And we also have a September 23rd, which is totally in line with my October thoughts that around October 16th we could start to return back to these lower levels. So let's now take a look at some other things here. So we've done our square of 9, we've done our planetary update, we've done our sequences of tops here. Next was our anniversary low. We've done that. Let's go take a look at our vibration from our low. So we're just gonna make this a little smaller, and we're gonna just go and talk about some things here. So I think this is really interesting. So let's just take our handy dandy tool because we measure everything. Numbers are the most perfect things. So at this low on November 10th here, 9th and 10th, our anniversary bottom at 15,500, we're going to go out 155 days. So we're going to take 2 zeros and knock it off the price. So we bring the price to 155. Now we've converted that to days now. So let's go out 155 days from our top or our bottom, and bingo, there's our top. That's right, guys, you can't make this stuff up, all right? 155 days. That's right, April 14th. Go check your charts. So we've made a sequence again, another relationship between numbers, okay? So 15,500 or 15 has sequenced out and has made a 45 degree in a right angle, or 315 degrees or 45 degrees, depending on which way you're measuring. And it's made a relationship. So there's a squaring out of a bottom to a top. All right, so let's. So what's happened after 31 days from our top now? Because I can hear some thoughts going on about this probably. So at 31 days was May 15th. And as you know, I was calling from May 19th to the 24th for a bottom, but we had our lower top here. That's really interesting right here, you guys. This is this level. That's our next level. Okay, so at 31, we would go out and double the square at 60, say 2 days. Let's go out and have a look at 62 days and see where that lands. Oops. Okay, well, 62 days here, it says lands June 15th. My prognosis is from the 15th to past the 18th. And let's go have a look at the ephemeris, and I'll show you exactly why my thoughts are on these dates. And then we'll go have a look at planetary scales and some other things. I got lots of stuff to show you guys. Alrighty, so let's go in here again and let's just talk about this, okay? So from this top here, two planets came together, okay? And it was the sun and Jupiter at 22 degrees Aries. They made a top on the 14th of April, all right? So, what are we saying now? The next disruption and area that we did see was furthered to that in May. We're going to go have a look at that. So in May, I was calling for a bottom around the 19th to the 24th. And that is when Mars was exactly 180 degrees away from Pluto. Okay? And then we had the disruption take place at the beginning of the month here. Okay? The planet of disruption is Uranus. Okay? And the sun, go have a look, you guys. We made a top here. And then we had this great big fall off on these areas here. Okay? And we were expecting a bottom down here. And then we had Jupiter was squaring the nodes. Again, another level area where we were getting ready to move down rapidly. And so I feel that we're making this top up here, and we're having this disruption and change because Mercury is, again, this month on these days here, and on this day today, all right, it's Monday, all right. So this planet, Uranus, is now being conjunct with Uranus, planet of disruption, and we're going to have a big move down. And when I'm saying a low is going to occur right here on our anniversary date from the 16th, 15th, and will occur, and it will go to about the 21st when it will be completely or square Neptune. Anyways, pay attention to this. This stuff is re-replicating right here. You betcha. Okay, so now I've done the update with my ephemeris. I'm showing the planetary bodies when they connect. I've given you our 155 days from our anniversary low. Okay, so let's do percentage levels from 69, our top, and percentage levels from our major bottom so far at 15,000. Okay, so let's go take a look at that stuff. Now we've covered all that. Okay, so I'm going to scrunch this down a little. We're going to just take a look at the levels, and we're going to see just what exactly we're talking about. So there's a lot of Fibonacci numbers, the 78% level and whatnot. But anyways, let's just go over and take our handy dandy tool and let's just go take a look at it. So from 69, all right, we've moved down a total of 15.5, 77.4%. Okay, so interesting Fibonacci level. Let's just see how much we have actually moved up from the bottom, and then I'm going to show you a few other things. Okay, so from the bottom now, We have moved up probably 99%. Look at how accurate this is. We've gone up 100% from the bottom. Okay. 15 doubled to 31, right? When we were talking about this 155 days, and we found this top. Okay. I'm glad you're paying attention to this. If you're enjoying this, hit that like button. Leave a comment. I love the comments. I get some really awesome comments. I love reading them. Okay. Next, what were we going to talk about next? Okay, PayPal is coming soon. So if you want to buy a Square 9, and I'll give you an overview of it, you can go to Indepth Enterprises and you can view this. And that's right. You can email me, you can talk to me. That's right. This is the instrument that I use to forecast. That's right. So if you want one of these, and it would make a great gift for anybody who wants to study any asset. I've tuned this one to Bitcoin. So, and I give you a little pamphlet that tells you how to use it. And it's really simple. I keep it really simple. Actually, I've showed you this on a few tutorials back. If you go back and look at some of my tutorials, they populate all those things. So there's Mr. Gann. He's my inspiring man. He's the dude. So if you want one of these, they're 450 Canadian. You can email me and e-transfer me for now. If you want to wait till my PayPal is up and running, and those buttons will be added to my website, and hopefully I'll get my YouTube store coming, but I still need a few more subscribers and a few more hours. So you guys tear this stuff apart, and yeah, just tear it to pieces. Love it. I'll have some seminars coming up. I keep saying I'm going to do that, but I've been really busy. This year has been super busy for me. I've been doing a lot of projects and whatnot, so get all this put back together. So my last project is getting this PayPal verified, and then we'll move on from there. All right, so big tops and big bottoms coming in here, right? So let's pay attention to that and safe trading. Peace and love. Tear it to pieces.